What's up, guys? Today I am going to create an AI running coach that I will use for the next 18 years to qualify for the Boston Marathon. And I'm going to show you how you can do the exact same for your upcoming race, whether that be a marathon, half marathon, or mashed potato mile. Before I do so, I want to first give a disclaimer that I've used a tremendous running coach before, and I think that it is always great if you can find one and afford one to use that in conjunction with AI. There is nothing like having a human that you trust to get feedback on for certain topics and just give you comfort. But I know most people are not using running coaches. They're likely either buying a static plan or paying 20, 25 bucks a month for an app. And what I'm going to show you today blows that out of the water on a few different pillars. So first, unmatched context. When you build this AI running coach, it knows everything about, it can, if you give it the data about all your historical runs, what you eat, how much you sleep, everything. It has context of all that. What that means is it can give you extremely curated, personalized feedback on demand for any question you may have. As well as that, it will create a plan that is very personalized to what you want and need to reach your goals. Secondly, it can adapt the snap of your finger. Let's say, things are not going to go as planned when you're training for something. You end up taking a trip somewhere that's very humid, that's high altitude, you end up getting injured. Not only will it adapt the plan, it'll also give you feedback for what to do now. Let's say you get injured. How should you be recovering from that injury, given that you have this race coming up? And then finally, last but not least, assuming you're using these apps, it is completely free. So guys, this is hard to beat. Now, I'm going to show you how you can set this up in a couple of minutes. I am now inside of Claude, aka my running coach. So as you can see, I've already written out the perfect prompt. That prompt is below in the description, so please use it. What I'm going to do now is give you guys some context on why I included some of what I included in this prompt. So one of which, at the top, you'll see I included the names of a couple of running coaches, well-known, trusted, respected coaches. And why I did this is whenever possible, when you want AI to approach a prompt for you, you should give context on how it should go about doing that. So I really like their philosophies. I want that to be the foundation of my running plan. So I included them here. Next, a couple of important things I noted before jumping into the details. First, I asked for my coach to return questions to me. There will certainly be gaps that need to be understood based on all of the data I give it. So I want to encourage questions always. Next, I want to know whether this goal is actually possible. We're going to do it regardless, but it's important to know if our coach believes in us and genuinely, right, this may be much more probable than you anticipate what you're shooting for. And it could make sense to bring the goal back a bit based on where you're at currently and then go for that goal further down the road. Or maybe you're not being ambitious enough. This gives that opportunity for the coach to opine. Finally, I want my coach to explain their reasoning as we go. This is going to be a dialogue. That's one of the best parts of using this type of coach. So always want to understand what they're saying. So if I don't agree with it, I can push back. All right, so here, this is the structure I want my plan to initially be delivered in. And next, we're going to jump into who I am as a runner. So things that any coach would want to know. And as noted at the top, this is one of the pillars that an AI running coach excels in is the context that can hold. So first, my age. This is important for my ability to recover and ramp. If you have any recent data on races that you've done, put that in there. Where I'm currently at miles wise, what my peak is, what my body's been able to sustain historically, any injuries that you're really flagging. I've had some bad running injuries with my calves. Important to know in case anything comes up during training. The actual race, right? This is important because there might be a lot of elevation. We might need to do a lot of hill workouts. Might be, maybe you're running in Texas in the summer. We might need to incorporate different training to ensure that you're ready for the heat, or your nutrition might need to be a lot different while you're running. And then scheduled structure. So this kind of hits on the other pillar, just adaptability. And this is at the forefront of your plan, but this really highlights how much the plan can adapt towards how you want to approach it, right? You can make this the perfect running plan for you. So for me, what that looks like is I don't like to run more than 5 days a week. That is the max for me to just stay fresh and not get burned out. I like to do my hard runs on Saturday. I like to take Sundays off in particular, always. And then also I like to know to my coach what I'm doing because unlike just a normal running coach, this coach can give me info on different areas for my strength training that I'm going to do once a week for how that could help my running. Also, maybe there's different types of yoga that I should be doing to supplement my running in particular. And then calendar constraints, I'm sure more things will pop up, but I know I'm going to be in Breckenridge, which is important because it's at elevation for part of the training. And then I also know that that week I need to do my long run on Friday because I have commitments on Saturday and Sunday. So I have attached all of my Garmin running data, if you have a running watch, you very likely can export it. It is super important to input it. That's thousands of data points that your coach will now have. And let's see what my coach comes back with. It is now alive. Welcome to the world. All right, coach, what do you got for me? It's saying it's going to be a challenge. Let's do it. All right, so these are the questions that it's come back with. Too much. All right, so I've answered the questions, and now should be time for the plan. All right, here we go. In minutes, we have this fully customized, personalized plan based on my goal to qualify for the Boston Marathon at the Twin Cities Marathon. So let's take a look. As you can see, we have week by week is giving me full context on the plan for the week, why we're doing it, um, everything you need here, the distance, the paces, the notes. And the best thing is any questions I have, I just pop right over here and I can ask them anything I want to push back on. And that's what I highly encourage you all to do. And now it is time for the fun part. We got to figure out how we're going to run 6:29 for 26.2. If you want to follow the journey, please subscribe. We're going to have some great content. Each video will be better than the last. I can promise you that.